beginning of our summer programs. So after this, then follow uh, the long meditation weekends, then the Tuesday mysticism series, and the Guru Purnima, then there will be the young adult retreat. Like that, it continues then in August, Rochester retreat, and children's camp, the Krishna festival, and so forth, you see. So, Anisquam service, yeah, good. Thank you for remembering all this. Uh, you have that, yeah. So, let us begin by singing the national anthem. Let all of us assume the proper this thing. Stand up and put your right hand on the chest as per is the American custom. Not guitar player. July is the day America celebrates its independence, and Swami Vivekananda has written a very nice poem to 4th July, uh, emphasizing the importance of this special Independence Day of America. So let us sing that song. 4th July also was the day when he left his mortal frame. So let us have that song by the same wonderful singers that we have, and you all can join. Solo. Oh, Peter and his guitar only. Okay.
So I didn't have the version that we normally do, so I had to kind of create my own music for this, which was a good experience because I spent a lot of time with this poem. And it's such an amazing, I didn't realize what an amazing poem this but really talks about America as kind of a light of the material world or the relative world, let's say, but also I think it also kind of mirrors Swamiji's own spiritual quest and evolution. You might kind of catch that in the lyrics. Behold the dark clouds melt away that gathered thick at night and hung so like the gloomy pale above the earth. Before thy magic touch, the world awakes, the birds in chorus sing, the flowers raise their star-like crown to set the wave in welcome fair. The lakes are opening wide in love. There are 100 lotus eyes to welcome thee with all their depth. All hail, welcome to thee today, O Son. Today sheddest liberty, O Son. Today sheddest liberty. Bethink thee how the world did search for thee through time. Gave up love and went in quest of thee, self-banished. Dreary oceans, primeval forests, each step for struggle through their life. Then came the day when work bore fruit, and love, sacrifice, fulfilled, accepted, and now propitious rose to shade thy light of freedom on mankind, light of freedom on mankind. Move on, O Lord, thy resistless path, till light overspreads the world, till every land reflects thy light, till men and women with uplifted head behold their shackles broken, in spring joy life renewed, in spring joy their life renewed, in spring joy their life renewed.
Just about 3 days back, I requested our young friend Vittal Rangarajan from Maryland to give a speech on 4th July, just a short one, giving the history of American independence So now I request him to come forward to give his speech.
Hello. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about the history of the revolution movement, the independence movement. I'll talk about the Declaration of Independence and how that fits in with all of these founding fathers' goals for America, which we're in today. So we'll start in the 1500s, well before America was even a thought. This is when Europe really gained knowledge of the New World, and all these countries that had maintained power over the earth realized that the New World would be the key to becoming the next superpower. So Britain, France, Spain, and Portugal all took in the effort to colonize these new lands. And fast forward 200 years to the 1760s, we see South America is well colonized by Spain, but North America is sort of a battleground between France and England. England has these highly populated cities, while France has a lot of the land in North America. And when they finally have a war in the French and Indian War, Britain comes out victorious and really cements themselves as the supreme superpower on the earth at this period of time. They had the strongest navy, they had the strongest military, and they had just beaten their rival, and they have control over North America. Now, about 10 years later, we see America is free from this mammoth of a superpower. And so it's really worth asking how they did that. So we'll start by why they wanted freedom in the first place. And we see that after the French and Indian War, the biggest issue that the British had was that their treasury was very low. They had run into debt from the war. And to fill this treasury back up, they decided to tax the colonists very exceedingly compared to the past. In the past, the colonies had run fairly independently, but now they really put in more of their effort into controlling these colonies. They had programs like the Navigation Act, which made sure that the colonist merchants only traded with the British, no other countries. And overall, the colonists really felt repressed. They felt like their freedoms were taken away, their rights were taken away. This combined with the Enlightenment ideals of the day, from philosophers like Rousseau and Locke, really gave them ideas of what a good government should do. For example, Rousseau writes in the social contract, every man is born free and yet is in chains. And these colonists really took that to heart. They saw how the government was imposing its tyranny on them, and they felt that they could break free of this, they could be independent. So these tensions continued to rise. There were boycotts, and there were acts of violence, such as the Boston Massacre. There were acts against the British in things like the Boston Tea Party, and the British attacked back with further taxation and did not respect the colonists' requests for compromise. So finally, in 1775, a group of the military from the British came in contact with some militia, and that really started the war in Lexington. It's called the Shots Heard Around the World, and this really marked the start of what we call the Revolutionary War. A year later, we have the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, and this is when American representatives from the Continental Congress expressed that if they won this war, they would be their own separate nation, completely broken away from Britain, and that was their goal. So, like I mentioned before, Britain was the strongest nation at the time, so it really makes no sense for them to have lost this war. So I think it's worth seeing at least one of the reasons that America was able to succeed in this endeavor and gain their own independence. I had many. There are obviously dozens of reasons, but for the sake of time, I'll mention one of them and how we can apply that to our own mental revolutionary wars. So I'll talk about the type of battle that was being fought by the colonists. They understood that they had to prolong this war. The British wanted to come in and quell the revolution as soon as possible so that the people in England who were very far away, who weren't impacted by the rebellion, didn't have to spend their money, didn't have to spend their time worrying about the British government. So they wanted to finish the war very quickly. Colonists realized that they had to prolong this. They had to make it as elongated and as insufferable for the British as possible. They would have to do everything in their power to make sure the British got tired and finally outlast them. This is called a war of attrition, where one side is daring the other side to give up. And when fighting a defensive war, the colonists really had an advantage in that they knew the geography, they had strategies to survive, even if they didn't win. So now I'll mention 3 of the ways that they were able to survive this war of attrition and win, and then how we can use this in our own lives. So first of all, every colonist was dedicated to the cause of independence. They're all united in purpose, and even those who were loyal to the British were lynched and tarred and feathered. And while this does sound very dehumanitarian, it's important to note that this level of unity, almost like fascism or communism, allowed these colonists to really continue to fight even as things got tougher. Next, we see how all resources in the colonies were put directly into the war effort. One great example of this is how common people, common families, took their pots and pans, melted them down into cannonballs, and gave them to the Continental Army. And this allowed the Continental Army to serve for about 6 years through harsh winters and harsh battles and keep surviving for the next day. Finally, what I think is the most important piece of this, they had a lot of foreign help. They had help from France, who gave them generals and gave them military aid. And we see that in the winter of Valley Forge. This was the lowest point in the war for the Americans. They were retreating after losing battle after battle, and it was leading into winter, so they were forced to reside in a defensive encampment called Valley Forge. Everyone was getting sick, they were getting diseases, they didn't have enough resources to survive the winter. And yet the generals from France were able to instill a level of military discipline and confidence in each of the troops so that when they came out the next spring, they were all ready to fight again. Next, we see in the final Battle of Yorktown, the Americans had pinned the British against the coast, and the French had blockaded the coast, so no new reinforcements could come in. Now you might be wondering why I'm telling you all this and why we're learning this in a Vedanta center. So when I heard about these stories of the war of attrition, it really seemed very similar to the war we're fighting in our own souls with our own negative desires, our own negative tendencies. These are much stronger than our own willpower to change, and often we see our habits overcome us. So let's take the metaphor of the Revolutionary War and take it into our own lives. If we take our own goals, our own higher desires, as the colonists, we need to understand how they managed to win. And so let's examine this one piece of the war of attrition. In our own lives, I think we all know that this war isn't easy. We need to fight for, like Maharaj says, it could end tomorrow or it could end 100 lifetimes from now. And so we need to understand that we're just going to outlast the enemy, which in our case is our lower tendencies. So if we take the 3 things I mentioned before about a war of attrition, the unity of purpose in all of the people, we have to maintain all of our ideals together so they're facing one goal. Next, the unity of resources. We need to take every moment of time we have and every piece of energy we have and dedicate it to the goal. We can do this through actions like karma yoga, where we take regular common things and turn it towards our goal, which in this case is God realization. And finally, foreign help. And this is probably the most important, just like how the colonists needed it to survive. We need foreign support more so in this endeavor than in any other endeavor. Like Maharaj says, it's impossible to do this without a guru, without someone who has accomplished this task and is coming back to help us. They can give us advice when things get really grim. They can support us when we're at the precipice of victory. and without them, success is impossible. So I hope that was helpful. That's my talk for today. I think especially on today, it's really worth looking back in history and looking for these types of metaphors, seeing what inspiration we can get from them in our own lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Vittal. Very good. Especially for connecting the war of independence with our spiritual war for everyone that we have to fight. It is exactly, why we celebrate the Independence Day is also because of this deep connection that everybody strives for independence. It is the speaker himself is thinking that, well, after an year or so, I will be independent from my parents. I will have my 18 years and then they will not have, I will not be under their thumb and so forth. Anyway, we will discuss that later. But there is a few songs before that. Our Charlie will sing a song on Sri Ramakrishna. Come on, Charlie, and he will speak also a little bit.
And then going right into Lord Krishna went to temple. So the way it goes, the chorus, every other verse. Okay, I composed a song to the tune of Yankee Doodle, and it's called Ramakrishna Went to Temple. And we're just going to sing one line of Yankee Doodle to show you what it came from, and then we'll go to Ramakrishna Went to Temple. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. So Ramakrishna went to temple to eat thali puja. Went into samadhi when you do, it goes right through you. Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Vivekananda. Meditation every day helps change all those samskaras. Sarada Devi took a journey just to see her husband. When she got there, he told her she'd have hundreds of children. Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Vivekananda. Meditation every day helps change all those samskaras. Swamiji went to Chicago, prominent of religion. When he did address the crowd, the cheering it was regions. Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Vivekananda. Meditation every day helps change all the samskaras. Certain monks to get together and they formed an order. Turned out to be Christmas, and now it got brighter. Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Vivekananda. Meditation every day helps change all the samskaras. Ramakrishna went to temple doing thali puja. Went into samadhi when he goes by puja. From the first trouble for the candidate the meditation every day helps change although some scars. Okay. Okay, here's some philosophical ideas that I came up with. And I know Maharaja said that people prefer stories, but this is what you get if you ask me to speak. Vedanta believes that true freedom is attaining the non-dual state, which is pure existence, awareness, bliss. Monastics in our movement generally do not get involved in politics, while members are free to do so on their own. So I come from a political background. When I was younger, I thought we could have a utopia. I was impatient with democracy due to the inequalities that I perceived. I thought that people were basically good so we could have a society in which we all shared with one another and got along in harmony. I refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance my senior year in high school because I felt that it was a meaningless ritual, and at the time I did not believe in God under whom we were pledging allegiance. Well, since then, I have developed a renewed respect for democracy and the idea of a balance of power with which I was brought up. While we are all divine, we also have the ego in us with greed, anger, and pride. These flaws are brought out in libertarianism, in which the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, greed, communism, in which the regime jails and kills at will, anger, and fascism and theocracy, in which the ruling nationality and or religion is viewed as superior to everyone else, so everyone becomes expendable, and that's pride. Each of these groups has their political ideal. The libertarians want political liberty, the communists want political equality, and the fascists and theocrats want political solidarity based on their version of their nationality and or religion. They each think if they get their ideal, we will have a perfect society. Democracy means compromise. It means having a balance between liberty, equality, and solidarity. It means considering that we each have an ego, so we're not fit for a political utopia. True liberty is God realization. True equality is that we are all children of God. And true solidarity is the all inclusive oneness. I can celebrate Juneteenth and July 4th and be happy to be a citizen in a democracy and a Vedantist. Thank you. Well,
Thank you, Charlie, to show how the journey and the progress from being an advocate of non-democracy and non-religion. He became an advocate of democracy and religion, that is God, and believes that how equality, uh, uh, liberality, and solidarity are attained in God. When we practice religion, they all get attained. There is, I tell about it almost on every Independence Day, that there is a very well-known book by Alexis Tocqueville, a French scholar who came to United States mainly to study the American prison system, and then ended up writing a very highly recognized book, American Democracy. It is quoted, and the most quoted book, I would say, on the American political discussions by scholars. It has also a chapter on religion and American religion. He says that the spirit of democracy directly contrasts the spirit in which the religions are carried on, because in every religion there is the one supreme authority called God or Pope or Church, whatever it is, a supreme authority, whereas in democracy, that is completely negated. All are equal. That is the spirit of democracy. Although, let us remember that America took a long, long time, centuries, to come to that. It is in the earlier days, the slaves, they did not have, the African Americans did not have the right to vote. Then there was a funny thing done that okay, they will have the vote, but it will be cast by their owners. 3/5 vote will be there. Forget why the number of 3/5 was chosen, but that was a very funny idea that although the spirit of democracy is equality. Everybody will have just one vote. Just because Teresa is tall doesn't mean she gets two votes, you say. It is, yeah, everybody gets only one vote. Whether you are as rich like those, who is the richest person? Elon Musk still gets only one vote. And even if you are uh, a beggar on the streets here, you get still only one vote. Nobody gets more than that. So it is. But Americans did not have that for a long time. You know, not too long ago, Martin Luther King Jr. had to do lot of struggle to bring that state of affairs, make it really democratic. And still funny and unbelievable that women didn't have the right to vote. Ah, it is just almost 100 years ago, a little more than that, women could not vote. So, therefore, the democratic spirit was, although it was, we called it democracy, there was not really democracy. And as the time, went on, uh, it was found that it is not really democracy. If you analyze, it is more like a dollarcracy. And therefore, you'll find that all the candidates that contest the election, how much money they gathered in their election campaign, that assumes more importance. Why? Because although it is called democracy, there is some democratic ideas there, but not really full democracy. We still have a distance to go. Alexis Tocqueville points out that the idea, as preached in the religion, God, the supreme authority, is not tenable in democratic spirit of equality. If all are equal, if all have one vote, then that God also would be dragged into this gambit of equality. God also has to be one of us. And so the common Christian God will not fit in the model of democracy. So he predicts that as the time goes on, the Eastern pantheistic religions are going to become more and more prominent in America. You will wonder, that is it happening? Not that America is becoming Hindu or Buddhist as such, but these ideas that uh, God is all pervading, indwelling spirit of everything, those ideas are certainly spreading even amongst the Christians and the Jewish as well as Muslims. You see these ideas that God is pervaded in the universe that is being seen is not an extra cosmic God, but the God who is here in everyone. So that is where the God also has to become democratic. It is. So this is the great point in freedom. Swami Vivekananda had written another beautiful poem which was very much loved by my predecessors, the wonderful Swami Sarvagatananji. In fact, he had kept some prominent one stanza printed in bold letters and put it in our dining room, Song of the Free. So that will be presented by Peter alone or a group? Alone, okay. Come, Peter.
The wounded snake its hood unfurls, the flame stirred up doth blaze. The desert air resounds the call of heart-struck lions' rage. The cloud puts forth its deluge strength, but lightning cleaves its breath. When soul is stirred to its inmost depths, great ones unfold their best. Great ones unfold their best. Let eyes grow dim and hearts grow faint, and friendship fail and love betray. Let fate its 100 horrors send, and clouded darkness block the way. All nature wear but one angry frown, to crush you out, still know my soul. You are divine, march on and on, not right nor left but to the goal. Not right nor left but to the goal. Nor angel I, nor man, nor brute, nor body mine, nor he nor she. The books do stop in wonderment to tell my nature I am he. Before the sun, the moon, the earth, before the stars or comets free, before e'en time had had its birth, I was, I am, and I will be. I was, I am, and I will be. Cast hard them all and holds them fast, and warp and woof of thought ourself, or if hells and heavens are worth our best. Or if hells and heavens are worst our best. No, these are but the outer crust, all space and time affecting cause. I am beyond all sense, all thought, the witness of the universe. Not two nor many, 'tis but one, and thus in me all me's I have. I cannot hate, I cannot shun myself from thee, I can but love. From dreams awake, from bonds be free, be not afraid this mystery. My shadow cannot frighten me, no once for all that I am he. No once for all that I am he. No once for all that I am he.
A beautiful, sublime song. That how everything that we see, limited by time and space, is bound. It is not free, cannot be free. Only I was before all that. I am and I shall be because I am beyond time and space. That alone can be free. So, therefore, if we want really to be free, political independence is just a speck in that. One has to know that I am everywhere. I was. What a beautiful line it is. I was, I am, and I shall ever be. Let the nature cast its terrible frown on us. But know that they are all bound, and they are not free. So this self alone is free. And in this relative expression of self, what one has to do is to maneuver with this ideal of liberty balanced with the ideal of responsibility. It is another wonderful thing that Sarvagatananji was never tired of repeating, that just as there is the on the east coast of America, there is the Statue of Liberty. Have you seen Statue of Liberty? Who has not seen so far? Uh, okay, everybody has seen. So Statue of Liberty. On the west coast, he said, put a statue of responsibility. Ah, that statue of responsibility. Because without responsibility, there is no liberty in this world. You can preserve your liberty, your independence, only if you become responsible. That is in the relative sense, this is the meaning of attaining liberty. Otherwise, if we are not responsible, then our actions bind us. It is whatever we do, the consequences follow. And so act in a responsible way, knowing that our action will have inescapable consequences that we all will have to take too. So, this is the great message that this wonderful poem also brings. Now, we know that in this anthem, national anthem, there are these concluding words. They have always charmed me, that they land of the free, home of the brave. So these two ideals are to be cherished, that is the land of the free. And then who can be here? Those who are brave to withstand the onslaught of all the vices and the tendencies that make us bound. So let us keep up these ideals, and we shall now chant these. Let us put it 3 songs. Uh, America the Beautiful, that will be followed by uh, auspicious and blessed, uh, the song for the Divine Mother, and then we shall go to have the potluck lunch after saying Brahmarpanam. So let us have this America the Beautiful by Peter and his friends. Please come on.
Shine His face on me, and the good brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pageantry that speaks beyond the years. Nine alabaster cities be unnamed by human feet. But when by every drop, unburn thy soul is love and liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes grew in liberating strife. No more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, God planted will divine, and lost the quest be nobleness, purity in divine.
auspicious and blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Naomi, my brown book of music is in the back on the table there. If you would mind grabbing that. Oh, auspicious and blessed graciousness sublime, all noblest you give to us, granting us refuge, all seeing glory. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish, be our Savior, through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ramakrishna Deva Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarada Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Buddha Deva Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jesus Christ Ki Jai.
Many thanks, dear friends, for coming to this first program of this summer break. The next one will be our mysticism series will begin on 9th Tuesday. Every Tuesday we will have a class on a mystic teacher in the world. And this year the topic is the great Sufi Ibn Arabi, one of the earliest and most well-known Sufi teachers who had tremendous influence on shaping the religious discourse, even in Judaism, that is Kabbalah, and also Christianity, the religion of love, as we can see that. So that will begin from coming Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. We will start with Arati, and then the meditation, and the lecture will start. The class will start. Also, my special thanks go to those who took special pains, Lot of work was done to prepare this music and presented that. And many of you have brought various food dishes for the potluck lunch. We have very few days in the year where there is a potluck lunch. So this is one of those special days. So we will see what is in our luck. But before that, let us recite the grace. ॐ ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविर्ब्रह्माग्नो ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्मसमाधिना हरि ओं तत्सत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. O Lord, please accept our offering, bless us, make us pure and all-loving. May we not accuse, demand, or complain, but love, respect, and cooperate with all. May we not find faults with others, but try to find our own faults. May we not treat others as strangers, but learn to make all our own. May we feel the whole world to be our own. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. So, in a few minutes, please proceed to the basement and give a couple of minutes to the volunteers to arrange the food items, make it ready, and then we will all go to do justice to all these preparations.